All right, let's get right into it. Today we're going to talk about a really powerful idea, putting people back at the very heart of how we work. It's all about shifting away from those super rigid job descriptions and moving towards creating roles that actually energize us and, in turn, drive growth for the whole organization.
But first, let me ask you something, and be honest with yourself. Think about your job right now. Does it feel like it was tailor-made for you? Like it really plays to your strengths and what you're passionate about? Or, does it sometimes feel like you're just trying to squeeze into a box that was built for someone else?
Look, if you feel that little bit of a disconnect, you are definitely not alone. And that's where this amazing concept called job crafting comes into play. Now, here's the key. This isn't about waiting for your boss to magically change your job for you. Nope. It's about the proactive changes that you make to your tasks, your relationships, even your own perspective to make your work genuinely more meaningful.
So, how do you do that? How do you actually become the artisan of your own role? Well, it really breaks down into 3 powerful strategies. Let's unpack them.
First up, you've got task crafting. This is all about changing the what of your job. It could be something small, like finding a smarter, more efficient way to get a boring task done. Or it could be bigger, like taking on a new project that you're actually excited about. Or maybe even reshaping your responsibilities so they line up better with your skills.
Second, there's relationship crafting. This one is all about the who. Think about it. Who do you interact with every day? This means making a conscious choice to spend more time with those colleagues who lift you up and support you. It could mean seeking out a mentor or just changing how you interact with people to make things more positive and collaborative.
And number 3 is cognitive crafting. And honestly, this might be the most powerful one of all. This is about changing the why. It's about completely reframing how you think about your job. So instead of seeing it as just a list of tasks to check off, you start to see the bigger picture, the real impact you're having. You connect your work to a purpose that actually means something to you.
And when people actually do this stuff, the results are just incredible. We're talking about a huge spike in engagement and motivation. Stress levels drop, and people are way less likely to leave. They feel a real, genuine connection between who they are as a person and the work they do. And this isn't just good for the individual, the entire organization gets healthier. It's a win-win.
But here's the thing. An individual can't just do all this in a vacuum. For job crafting to really take root and flourish, you need the right kind of environment. And that, my friends, is where leadership comes in. But we're not talking about just any kind of leadership. We need what the research calls crafting leadership. Now, this is not your old school, top-down, I'm the boss, you do what I say kind of style. No way. It's a super flexible, inclusive approach that understands that every single person on the team is different. It's about guiding and nurturing their growth, not just checking boxes and managing their tasks.
The contrast here is just night and day. On one side, you have all the things that kill crafting. Micromanagement, a constant culture of overwork, leaders driven by ego. It just crushes people. But on the other side, when you lead with a crafting mindset, you unlock so much potential. Motivation skyrockets, people discover strengths they didn't even know they had, and you build this incredible foundation of trust.
Think of it like this. A crafting leader is like a great gardener. They don't stand there yelling at the plant to grow. No, they create the perfect conditions. They make sure the soil is right, there's enough sun, enough water. They create an environment where the plant can thrive all on its own. That's exactly the idea here.
Okay, so this all sounds really good in theory, right? But the big question is, how do we actually make it happen? Let's get practical. Let's look at what everyone, individuals, leaders, and the organization can actually do.
So if you're an individual, it really starts with you. First, just take a moment for a self-assessment. What parts of your day drain your energy, and what parts actually get you excited? Second, do some reflection. What does this work mean to you? What's your purpose? And third, and this is crucial, don't keep these ideas to yourself. Talk to your manager, share them with your colleagues.
Now, for the leaders listening, your job is to create the space for this. It all starts with listening, and I mean really listening. Then empower your people. Give them the autonomy to shape their roles. Use what's called feed forward. That's feedback that's focused on the future and possibilities, not just on past mistakes. And of course, build a culture of teamwork and well-being.
And finally, zooming out to the whole organization. You've got to build the systems that support all this. This means making people aware of what job crafting even is. It means creating clear paths for growth, maybe using job rotation so people can discover new skills. And it means you got to track the right things, not just profit, but metrics like engagement and well-being to see if it's actually working.
When you start to put all these pieces together,
What you're doing is so much more than just starting a new HR program. You're actually building an entirely new culture of work.
And it's so important to get this. Neither of these ideas really works on its own. They're two sides of the same coin. Job crafting gives power to the individual, and crafting leadership creates the safe, supportive space they need to use that power. When you pull those two levers together, that's when you build an organization that's truly successful and built to last.
And really, this quote from the source material just hits the nail on the head. The biggest challenge here isn't about finding the right tools or a new process. The real challenge is cultural. It's about letting go of that old-school command and control mindset and having the courage to embrace a new, more human way of working.
So after everything we've talked about, it all comes down to this one simple question. How will you, yes, you, start crafting your work tomorrow? It doesn't matter if you're a team member or a CEO. What's one small change you can make? How will you start crafting not just your work, but your future?